Hello and good evening. This is Focus on the Community. I'm Derek Rowedder, filling in for Eloy Garza. Our guest this evening is Jean Logan from the Siouxland Action Agency. Jean, how are you doing this evening?
Very well.
Great, great. We're going to start off, we're going to ask a few questions about what the Community Action Agency of Siouxland is about.
Okay.
So if you could tell us a little more in detail.
I would love to tell you all about the Community Action Agency. We operate a wide range of programs designed for people that are low income. And a lot of those programs may be names that people out there might be familiar with. And a lot of times when they call our agency, they're really maybe looking for a specific program. And some of the better known would be Head Start and Early Head Start. And we have an energy assistance program which goes by the name of LIHEAP, which is short for the Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program. We also have a weatherization program, and we provide emergency assistance that we may be able to help with rent payments, utility shutoffs, some of those kinds of things.
So who exactly does the Community Action Agency serve?
Mostly people that are at or below 150% of the federal poverty level. Many of our programs are federally funded, although quite a few do come down through the state, and then they're distributed to community action agencies or nonprofit agencies such as mine. And we really serve prenatal through seniors. We also have a program called General Relief, and in that program we may be able to help with burials. So really we have the spectrum of age in our community, and predominantly we serve citizens that are in Woodbury County, but some of our programs extend beyond the borders of Woodbury County, and Senior AIDS would be a good example of that. That's a senior employment training program, and we have 7 counties that we cover for that program.
Great, so you serve quite a few people.
Last year we served 15,796 people, and again, those are mostly people that are residing in Woodbury County. And in terms of families, we served 5,829 families. That really is hitting a significant number of those people that are in poverty, and that's what we like to see. We would hope that the numbers that we serve are going to be very reflective of the statistics that you would see for the number of people in poverty that reside here.
Great. So now that we know a little bit about what you do exactly, who specifically qualifies for assistance?
Each one of the programs has different guidelines. And I think that makes it hard to say in a very, if I would say in a very general way. Some of the programs may be at 100% of that federal poverty level. Others may be at 130%, 180%. It really depends on what program it is that we're talking about. And in the case of food, we have an emergency food bank. There are no income guidelines for that program. So I always like to try to encourage people, if they're having problems or they feel like they need assistance with something, that they would try to call us, because your individual circumstances would determine whether or not you would qualify. And I can give an example of that. The Energy Assistance Program, the LIHEAP program that I talked about, runs from November 1st until this year. Normally it's April 15th, but I think that falls on a Sunday, so it's been extended a day. And that program is really designed to help you pay a portion of your utility bill, to help you with your energy costs. It's a wonderful program. How much money you get and whether or not you qualify is determined by how many people are in your household, what type of heating that you have, And we do have some people in Woodbury County that are burning corn. It may be propane. You may be a Mid-American customer. So there are a lot of different varieties there in terms of what kind of energy that you use. The size of your household depends. And there is a point system that's set by the state. So if you have a young child in your home, or if you have someone that is a senior living in that household, you will get more points, hence more money for energy assistance than maybe a working family would. And so it's very difficult to say, if you come in and you qualify for this program, you're going to get X number of dollars, because there are a lot of factors to be considered. The other thing that they have done in the last couple of years that I think is really wonderful, they have taken into account how much people may have for medical expenses. So even if you don't meet the income guidelines, if you can document what your medical expenses were, we can take that off the top, so to speak, and then you may qualify. And there are quite a few of the programs that we would really need to talk to you about your individual circumstances to see whether or not there would be something that we can do. The other thing that might impact whether or not a person would be eligible, in some of the programs we're allowed to look at your income in a variety of ways. And you may not qualify from last year's tax return, but if we look at your situation and say you were unemployed for the last several months, unable to find a job, now maybe you would be eligible because we'd go back a certain amount of time and take a look at your income. So we would really try to find any ways that would be allowable that might make you eligible for the programs that we have.
So I know we covered a little bit about the funding, federal specifically. You said funds the program, but is there any other ways of funding that help the Siouxland Action Agency?
The majority of our funding does come from federal sources. Some of that comes directly from the federal government. Some of it is filtered down through the state, and then it's distributed to our agency. We are a private nonprofit, and because we try to meet the needs in the community, some of the needs that we try to meet, there really is no state or federal funding for. So we're in the position of looking to fundraise, and so we rely on local foundations, we write grants, private donations, to help us supplement the work that we do. And in some of the grants that we have, it's required that we have what's called a match. And that would mean the federal government says, we will give you $1 if you can come up with $1 from your local community. And in some cases, they will allow match to be the time that you spend. So if you come and you volunteer for our agency, in a lot of the programs, that's as good as cash. But of course, cash is also always appreciated.
Are there other opportunities for the community to assist your agency in what you do?
We do have several Head Start classrooms, and so it's nice when we have, especially guys, Derek, to come in and volunteer. There's 3 to 5-year-olds in a preschool classroom, and they always love to see anybody come into the classroom. So if you wanted to come in and read stories or help out in the classroom, that would be a nice volunteer activity.
I can read stories.
Well, see, you know, I think you'd be well suited.
I'm qualified.
You're very qualified.
Wonderful.
Actually, most of us are pretty qualified to do. And there may be other opportunities to volunteer. As I mentioned, we have a food pantry. We see a lot of people that come in and are in a situation where maybe they don't have a lot of household goods. So we do take donations of pots and pans, sheets and towels, blankets. Normally we see families that they don't have coats or mittens or hats. So there has been really a great community response to when we will put out a call saying that we need mittens or maybe food, or, you know, there are just a lot of different kinds of opportunities that people can help us.
Is there any specific success stories or just wonderful stories about what your program does that we could share that would just really tell everybody a little more?
I think it's
understand what I'm saying here?
I think it's probably easiest if I take it program by program.
Okay.
The senior age program helps people 55 and older, and generally it's a training program for people that maybe need to brush up on their skills. So every one of those people that moves from the training program into an unsubsidized employment, they get a job. Every one of those is a success story. And so those are always especially very gratifying, because at one point in time, I think when I first started with the agency, the average age of our participants was in their 70s. So that's quite something for people to train and to go out and get a job. And it's very difficult, and I really have a lot of respect for the people that are in the program that are able to do that.
Right.
In the Early Head Start program, we serve pregnant women and children up through age 3. And it's a comprehensive program. In other words, we take a look at the whole family and try to meet the needs and try to support the family and their goals. And so we've had people that have graduated from college that have been involved with our program. We've had instances where maybe mom and dad will get a GED, or maybe they'll go on to pursue their education. A lot of cases of maybe when we first encounter the family, their housing situation isn't safe. So we can help them find something that would be better for their family, that would be safe, secure, those kinds of things. There are hundreds of success stories, really.
So, quick, could I get the address and phone number and the website of the Action Agency for everyone?
Sure.
As well as maybe the hours of your location.
Most of the applications are taken in our Community Services Department.
Okay.
And that's at our agency's headquarters, so to speak, which is located at 2700 Leach Avenue. And that's right across the street from Miles Inn. It's 2 blocks up from the Tire Man off of Gordon Drive. That's
okay.
it's in an old school building. We also have several other buildings where we either own space or rent space, but that is really where the basis of our operations is. And we would ask that you would call, if you could, to make an appointment first, because some days we're very busy. We do take people walking in if you have an emergency and you need food. We certainly wouldn't want to turn anyone away, but it's better for everybody, I think, if you can call, because then we would tell you what information we would need you to bring with you so that you don't have a second trip. And we also can try to schedule our time to make sure someone could help you when you wouldn't have to sit and wait.
Okay.
And our phone number is 274-1610.
Okay.
To make an appointment with the Community Services Department, it would be extension 210,
All right.
I think.
Well,
Don't quote me on that. We also have an 800 number available to people in Woodbury County. And maybe you could read that for us.
The 800 number?
It's right here.
It's right here. 1-800-352-3725. Jean, I want to thank you for your time this evening. And thank you for telling us about the Community Action Agency of Siouxland. And this is Focus on the Community. I'm Derek. Have a good night.